Hello, everyone. Hey, everyone. Going to give people just a few minutes to come in. Hi, Uber. I'm going to pop out the chat as usual. Paula can't get her stuff together in one sock. All right. Lady Raiden, hello, my dear. Miss Kitty. Dragging stuff around on my desktop. Just a second. There we go. That's a little better. Oh, God. What a pain this thing is. All right. Well, it might just be the four of us in here. Wow. Yes, I am feeling better. We both got laid low with some kind of stomach virus. I'm a little bit better, but he's still upstairs in bed. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. One of this week's chat and lessons for everybody was on meditation and how important meditation is to practice in Wicca and practicing as a witch, and also just for your life in general. We are so inundated with information overload and everything that goes on. You know, your mind just starts spinning from the amount of information that's thrown at you every single day. And sometimes you just have to stop and get off the crazy train and take, even if it's 5 minutes for yourself to meditate, to calm down, and, do everything like that. So, one of the very first things that you want to learn how to do is how to properly breathe. And that sounds kind of stupid, um, but most people do not breathe properly. And because we breathe from way up here instead of from the diaphragm, which is down like just underneath your breastbone at the bottom of your rib cage. And when you do that and take a deep breath in and through your nose and then exhale out through your mouth, what that does is help you breathe in more deeply and to fully exhale. And what this does is it improves your circulation. It gives you more oxygen, and it helps you focus on something other than the crap during the day. And I always take about 5 minutes a day where I am mindful of how I am breathing. And to be able to do that, I'll never forget it. When I first started doing that, I dropped 5 pounds in 2 weeks, did absolutely nothing different, no medication changes, nothing. And it was because my body was getting more oxygen to be able to metabolize, raise your metabolism. So, if you're mindful about that and the way that you're breathing, it takes your attention off of stuff that's bothering you. Okay. That's called what I call the sacred breath. And if you guys have any questions, just, pop them in the chat. I'll try and keep an eye on everything. I've got it like right here in front of my face. Another thing that you have to do is to be able to still your mind. And that's STILL, still. And that is so hard to do. And I liken this to a 2-step process. Is when you're sitting there doing your sacred breath and trying to just slow down, if a thought pops in your head, think of it as smoke and just let it dissipate. Okay. And then as you get better and are more accustomed to tuning out everything that's going on, then what you can do is when you're trying to meditate and your thoughts, invade that space, just imagine that they're little tiny sparks and you let go of them immediately. Okay. Those are 2 really key things to being able to meditate. And what I want to do is to kind of explain a little bit about, everybody's heard, people that have a mantra. And when you first start out, your mantra is only the breathing, okay? To breathe in completely for like a count of 3 or 4, and then to exhale completely for a count of 3 or 4. And then you can move on, okay? And you guys have probably, heard people, their mantra is Om, right? Well, Om actually means something. The A in Om stands for grace. The U in Om stands for power. And then the M in Om means the all. And then you also hear some people do something like that, okay? And the U stands for goddess of power. And then M stands for mating with the consort. And those, who are already practicing Wiccans, we know that the cycle of our year, our wheel of the year, involves, the mating of the consort, the birth of the god, the death of the god, the rebirth. Okay. So it's a constant cycle, just like it is. So these primarily came out of Hinduism. Okay. And the god Shiva is one of the principal deities in Hinduism. And Shiva is the destroyer of evil and the transformer. And what's really kind of interesting is that sometimes Shiva is also called, or it's said, that he created vampires, terror, and thievery. Okay. And then Shakti, Shakti, is his consort. And she is the cosmic energy and the personification. Hi, Barbara. And the personification of the feminine divine. Okay. Now you're thinking, Paula, what does this mean? And why am I studying this in witchcraft and Wicca? One of the most important things, number one, is to remain what we call grounded and centered. In other words, we're not allowing the crap of the day to overtake our minds, and then being able to let go of any thoughts and negativity that might come in. Okay. And we do this before we even try to work any kind of magic or before we do any kind of serious meditation, and also before we do a ritual. And then the next part of this, you guys have heard me talk about, magic is, harnessing power from the universe and then giving it intent that you want to see manifest change that you want to see, and then release that intent and energy out. Well, you always have what I call leftover energy. Okay. So what you have to do is then center yourself again and release all that extra energy and ground yourself so that, Mother Earth takes that excess energy and takes it over for you. And one of the Barbara, you're so funny. So while we're, doing our magic and everything, we're wanting to harness as much energy as we can, because the more energy we bring in, there's more energy and intent behind spell work or ritual work. And so if you don't release that excess energy, that pent up energy, you're going to get sick. You're going to wonder why you can't sleep, and just on and on and on and on and on. So that's why I kind of threw in meditation as the second in the series. And before we can go on, exactly, one way to ground is to eat a little small meal. Okay. And I try not to do that, or else, my Annie Fanny is going to get even bigger than it is. But yes, you can have some, like I usually have a piece of fruit. So I thought that making sure that everyone knows how to meditate and how to still the mind, it also helps you when you're doing those mantras and you're being more mindful of your breath and you're really taking care of you for a few minutes a day. It makes you more powerful as a human being. Okay. Because you do realize that we are all connected by energy. Okay. It is no different. Uber is part of me through energy. I'm part of Lady Raiden, and so on and so on and so on. And when you realize and come to the realization that we're all connected, you realize also how powerful that is and how powerful it can be. You guys may remember that I did an online ritual for little Rosie. Well, we had several people come in, and when there's like 20 or 30 people putting out nothing but positive, loving, healing, things of that nature, it's a very, very powerful thing. So this is going to be a very short live stream because this was a very short subject. And I also wanted to make sure that in the reading that I gave to everyone, that you understand the basis and where witchcraft and Wicca came from. And this will really start tying in to what we're about to get into, which is the actual practice of Wicca, not just and practicing with magic and doing rituals and understanding what's going on and how we got to where we are. Now, every time I meditate, it takes effort, even today. And I've been doing this for a very long time, over 15 years. And it's important to not get upset with yourself or to think I'm not that good, or, let any kind of negativity in, because you are good. You're part of the universal consciousness. You're part of everything around you. So don't think that you're not of the norm because you can't just flip a switch and meditate. It took me a long time just to learn how to properly breathe and to sit properly, without, right now I'm guarding my shoulders because I need a rotator repair on one of them. So, but how much proper meditation, proper posture can be to you being able to expand your lungs and breathe. Okay. And it doesn't matter whether you have a guided meditation or you just have, 3 minutes to sit and breathe. It is so important to take that time for yourself. And, because everybody that I see in the chat, we're all fixers. We want to fix everything. And we tend to forget about, we can't fix anything unless we take care of ourselves. It's like the old, when you're flying, they tell you if anything happens, put your mask on first and then take care of the person or the child next to you. And one of the ways that you can take care of you is through meditation. So I put up I think it's only 2. No, there's 3. There's 3 meditations on the YouTube channel. There's a quick one on the sacred breath. Just encourage you to breathe deeply. And then the second one is a grounding and centering guided meditation. And then the third one I put up is what I call the psychic shield. And anybody who has any kind of psychic ability or intuitiveness, or they're empaths, in other words, empaths take on the energy from people around them. So sometimes they just get inundated with emotion, and it's really hard to shut things out. So being able to properly meditate will help you shut up everything that's going on in your brain and that's invading your brain space. So the best way to do that is just, imagine yourself in like a blue opal shield. And that shield, I call it putting on my armor. And that helps me filter out stuff that I don't want coming in and scrambling up my brain, so to speak, with thoughts of anybody else or taking on somebody else's bad mood. So exactly, Barbara. It's very typical. So with that is about it. And what I encourage everybody to do is to start taking at least 5 minutes a day for you. Okay. And to just, even if you have to do it, go take you a bath, lock the door so the kids and the dogs and everybody else can't come in. Because I'll tell you, I haven't had a bathroom trip or a bath by myself with the 3 dogs that I've got in forever and a day. And just take 5 minutes for yourself, because you're worth it. And you should be higher on the priority list. Because like I said, I had to learn this lesson the hard way. When I was 27 years old, my parents were both diagnosed with terminal illnesses. So since I was the single one, I moved back home to take care of my mom and dad. My dad had cancer, and my mom was, I think, 54 years old when she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And she had progressed to the point where, after my dad died, she couldn't, take care of herself. So I was there to take care of her. And I ended up almost burning myself out because I didn't take the time for me. Once I took the time for me, just 10 minutes, 5 minutes a day, I handled everything that was thrown at me. And you can, if you tap into the universal power that we all contribute to, it will help you bring you back to center, and it will help you connect with everything and connect with the divine. Okay. So that's it for meditation. I really want everybody to take at least 5 minutes and take care of you. Next week is going to be where we start getting into the nitty gritty of rituals and the wheel of the year and the god and the goddess. Okay. The homework is in the, what do I want to call it? Introduction to 101. Description box, there is a Google document that you can just click on and print out the summary and the syllabus. So there you go. So until next week, if you guys have any questions at all, let me put my email in the chat. Just email me, or you can DM me on Twitter. Let me give you the Twitter. There you go. There's the Twitter. And be good to yourself and be good to others. So with that, guys, I'll see you next week. Be well and walk in love and light, everybody. Bye.